phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
What do YouTube? Be Kelly back again with another banger video. And today's video, y'all, is a highly requested video, and I'm going to be talking about 5 players who are very low rated coming out of high school according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, who are now stars or who are becoming stars in the making. The first player that I'm going to be talking about today is Khalil Mack. Now, Khalil Mack, coming out of the 2009 recruiting class, was only a 2-star recruit and wasn't even a top 2,000 player in the nation, and he ranked as 121st inside linebacker and the 271st best player in the state of Florida. Khalil Mack did not have a lot of interest around his name with D1 schools, and he didn't really have a lot of offers either. He only had one D1 offer, and that was from Buffalo, and he would end up going to Buffalo. Khalil Mack would spend 5 seasons at Buffalo, including one where he redshirted in his true freshman season in the 2009 college football season. Now, Khalil Mack, despite not being looked at all by really anyone, was a hidden gem for Buffalo. This guy not only was a 4-year starter at Buffalo, but he got better every year as well. And his numbers for the 5 seasons he was there, 4 he actually played in, he had a total of 327 tackles, 74.5 tackles for loss, 28.5 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 21 pass deflections, 3 fumble recoveries, and this part is insane, 16 forced fumbles. Khalil Mack would declare for the 2014 NFL Draft after 4 seasons at Buffalo, and he was coming off a strong 2013 campaign where he had 100 total tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, and 5 forced fumbles, and he was also the 2013 Mack Defensive Player of the Year. Although Khalil Mack did come into college as a 2-star recruit, that did not stop him, and going into the 2014 NFL Draft, he was seen as one of the top players in that draft. He would end up getting selected with the 5th overall pick in that draft by the Oakland Raiders. Khalil Mack has played 7 total seasons in the NFL so far, 4 in Oakland and 3 in Chicago. Now, he has been a star in every season he has played in. In his career so far, he has made 6 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros, and was the 2016 AP Defensive Player of the Year. So far in his 7-year career, Khalil Mack has racked up 448 total tackles, 70.5 sacks, and 97 tackles for loss. He also has 23 career forced fumbles, and is currently right now seen as one of the best defensive players in all the NFL, and teams have to go against this guy week in and week out and have to game plan for him, and it's just very hard to do because Khalil Mack is quite literally all over the field making plays left and right. The next player that I'm going to be talking about is T.Y. Hilton, coming out of the 2008 recruiting class. Now, in the 2008 recruiting class, T.Y. Hilton was a 2-star recruit, barely cracked the top 2,000, and was ranked as the 1,930th best player in the nation and the 219th best player in his position. Hilton would have a total of 2 Division I offers coming out of high school, Ole Miss, and FIU. He would end up choosing FIU. T.Y. Hilton would spend 4 seasons at FIU, where he was an immediate impact player from day one. In his 4-year career, he racked up 3,531 receiving yards, averaging 15 yards per reception and 24 touchdowns through the air. He was also very good in the special teams side of things, as he was very good at kick returning and punt returning. Although many say his best season in college football was his true freshman season at FIU, he still had a very good senior season where he had 1,038 receiving yards, averaging 14 yards per reception and 7 touchdowns through the air. He would declare his name for the 2012 NFL Draft, where he was taken in the 3rd round by the Indianapolis Colts. T.Y. Hilton has spent 9 seasons in the NFL so far, all with the Indianapolis Colts. He has had a very good career as he has made 4 Pro Bowls and has a career of 9,336 receiving yards and 50 receiving touchdowns. Although T.Y. Hilton's numbers have not looked as good as his past numbers in his career these past couple seasons due to injuries and other quarterback issues, he is still a very consistent and reliable receiver, and he will always be remembered as a dynamic duo with Andrew Luck while he was there. The next player that I'm going to be talking about today is Devonta Adams, the wide receiver out of California in the class of 2011. Now, Devonta Adams, coming out of high school, was a 2-star recruit ranked outside the top 2,000 players, as being ranked as the 2,368th best player in the nation, and he was only seen as the 281st best player in his position as well. And coming out of high school, he had one Division I offer that came from Fresno State, and of course, he would end up going to Fresno State. When Devonta Adams got to Fresno State in his true freshman season in the 2011 college football season, he would end up redshirting, but as a redshirt freshman in the 2012 college football season, he would break out with 1,312 yards and 14 touchdowns. And in the 2013 college football season, he was on a mission as a redshirt sophomore as he balled out the entire season and was honestly probably one of the best receivers in all of college football, where he had 1,719 receiving yards and 24 total touchdowns. Shortly after the season ended, he would declare his name for the 2014 NFL Draft, ending his career as a Fresno State Bulldog. In his career at Fresno State, he had a total of 3,031 receiving yards and 38 touchdowns in only 2 seasons playing football there. Now, in the 2014 NFL Draft, he was taken in the second round by the Green Bay Packers. In Devonta Smith's first couple seasons in Green Bay, he would struggle, as he would not eclipse over 500 receiving yards in both of those seasons. But once he got to his third season in the NFL, he really took off. So far in Devonta Adams' 7-year NFL career so far, he has had a total of 6,568 receiving yards, averaging 12 yards per reception, and 62 career touchdowns through the air. He has also made 4 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro team as well. The next player that I'm going to be talking about today is Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen, actually coming out of high school, had 0 Division I offers and was actually unranked and had to go to JUCO. But coming out of the 2015 recruiting class as a JUCO player, he was a 3-star recruit ranked as the 199th best JUCO player in the nation and the number 5 dual-threat quarterback as well. Coming out of JUCO, Josh Allen would only have 1 Division I offer for football, and that was from none other than Wyoming. In Josh Allen's first season at Wyoming, he would end up redshirting after playing in 2 games. In the 2016 college football season, he would end up being the starting quarterback for Wyoming, where in 14 games he completed 56% of his passes, threw for 3,203 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. In the next season for Wyoming, in the 2017 college football season, Josh Allen would appear in 11 games where he completed 56% of his passes, threw for 1,812 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. After the 2017 college football season, he would draw an end to his career at Wyoming as he declared for the 2018 NFL Draft. His career numbers at Wyoming were 5,066 passing yards, completing 56% of his passes, 44 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. In the 2018 NFL Draft, he was taken with a 7th overall pick in the first round by the Buffalo Bills. In Josh Allen's rookie season in Buffalo, he would have a very up and down season. He started in 11 games, going 5-6 as a starting quarterback, where he completed 53% of his passes, threw for 2,074 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for 631 yards and 8 touchdowns. Josh Allen would improve in his second year as a starting quarterback in the NFL, as in 16 games that he started in, he went 10-6 as a starting quarterback. He completed 59% of his passes, threw for 3,089 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. And on the ground, he rushed for 510 yards and 9 touchdowns as well. He was definitely showing a lot of improvement just from year 1 to year 2. In Josh Allen's third year in the NFL, this past 2020-21 NFL season, he would go off and have the best year of his career so far. As a starting quarterback, he went 13-3 in the regular season, where he completed 69% of his passes, threw for 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for 421 yards and 8 touchdowns altogether. And he even went to the playoffs, where he went 2-1 altogether in the playoffs, and he played very well, and the future is looking very bright for him in Buffalo, and that duo with Stephon Diggs is definitely looking lethal. The last player that I'm going to be talking about today is the wide receiver out of the 2017 recruiting class, Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson, coming out of high school, was a 3-star recruit, ranked outside the top 2,000, was ranked as the 308th best player in his position. And coming out of high school, he held 4 offers from LSU, Nicholls State, Northwestern, and Tulane. He would end up choosing LSU. Justin Jefferson would end up redshirting his true freshman season, but in 2018, he would actually surprise a lot of people and get a lot of playing time very early. And this is something that not a lot of people expected, as going into LSU, he was obviously a low-rated recruit, but going in, more importantly, he was extremely skinny, and there were some doubts about how he would translate being that skinny, but he translated pretty well, as in his first season as a starting receiver, he had 875 receiving yards, averaging 16 yards per reception and 6 touchdowns. And in the 2019 college football season, he was even bigger and better, as in 15 games, he had 1,540 yards of receiving, averaging 14 yards per reception and 18 touchdowns through the air. And after that season, he would declare his name for the 2020 NFL Draft, where he was taken in the first round, 22nd overall pick by the Minnesota Vikings. In Justin Jefferson's rookie season, in the 2020 NFL season, he might have just had the best NFL season ever for a rookie receiver. In this season, he had 1,400 receiving yards, averaging 16 yards per reception and 7 touchdowns, and he caught balls at an extremely efficient rate of 70%. And he even made a Pro Bowl as well. The future is definitely bright for Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, as people are now hyping him up to be a future NFL great. Well guys, now that I'm at the end of the video, I want you all to drop down some comments below about what you thought of the video, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly, out.